Good morning and welcome to the Daily No Nonsense Crypto Minutes. Today I want to give a quick update about where we are in the current just scheme of things, market cycle. Is Bitcoin dying? Blah blah blah. That whole thing. Of course, with the recent pullback in Bitcoin, there's been a lot of concern, fear, bearishness. Is this the end? Is this the top? At the end of the day, we don't know. All we can do is play the possibilities and the probabilities. I will say, unfortunately, I have a somewhat of a bullish bias just because I know the crypto market cycle kind of operates in a 4-year cycle. Every 6 months after the Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin goes on a bull run. Bitcoin halving, it was in May of 2020. So, I'm kind of leaning towards just history kind of repeating itself, but it may not. Anything could happen. And also historically, Bitcoin has had a very bearish March. So, I don't know, but all I can do is, let price action be my guide and kind of go from there. So just was kind of looking at a few things, one, well, I'm going to look at a number of things, but kind of things I'm thinking about. We just had the weekly close at 7 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday, February 28th, 2021. So if I draw a trend line, I can kind of just kind of some basis things I wanted to see. Go a trend line. I can add some moving averages just to kind of see what's going on. The RSI is this is the daily RSI, but if I look at, let's say if I look at the monthly RSI, previously historic tops have been around up here for the monthly RSI. Right now we haven't even got to that level yet. If I look on the weekly, the RSI is still kind of low. Take it back to the daily. Yes, we had a pretty big candle, but if I look, one thing that was sticking out is if we look at this blue line, that's the 50-day moving average. And you kind of see how Bitcoin's kind of hugged it there, and it's kind of respected it to a certain extent here. But if I also look at the Fibonacci retracement tool, if I take it from here and pull it up, you can see Bitcoin retraced to the fifth to one of this area here between the 0.382 and the 0.68 is the sweet spot area, and it stuck right at the sweet spot and bounced off, and that was also at 30,000, a nice round number. But if I pull it from this bottom and go to the top here, you can see it also is right now at the 50% sweet spot. So is it just, this is the trend of how it's going to go in this particular bull market where we hit the sweet spot, hit the 50% retracement, and that's going to be a trigger for the price to go up? I don't know, but I definitely have been adding here. We can do a trend line here, and I don't know if it's going to break this or not. But I did look at this as an opportunity to add to my position. Also, with these wicks here, this means that as prices going in, buyers were stepping in. Like buyers like this price. If you had candles that like full candles that were closing, that means buyers weren't interested. But buyers were very interested at this area here, so they held the price up. That's what these wicks are standing for. So that's kind of giving me some information there. It's like, is this like just duplicating itself? Then I can take it over to Bitcoin IO. I got my weekly RSI in. We can see it's kind of it crossed over here, which is usually a sign of like a recharge of strength of energy, but then it kind of rolled back over. I can look on the daily. On the 3-day. 3-day is kind of headed down as well on the overall the larger picture. Excuse me. But on the daily, you see we've been flatlining, starting to curve up a little bit. So and also like just kind of here you can see it's a lot of support here. If I get rid of this here, and this here, you can just see it's a lot of support in this area here. Just a lot of support. Is it going to hold or not? Right now it is. But also you can always position size. I mentioned before, like if you're a long term like years trader, there's really nothing to do except maybe to buy. I added today myself just to add into this position, and then so that was just because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to add and just take advantage of this dip. And right now we have support here. You have resistance all through here, and you have support now. It looks probable that it could bounce. It could also roll over. Does it stop here? Does it stop down here? I pull out my fibs just to kind of get a better idea. Does it stop here? Does it stop here? We have some confluence here with around the what is this, the 89-day moving average. You have at the 618 is more of a larger sweet spot, but just historically, in a bull market, Bitcoin hasn't really had a um, a 44% drawdown, especially now with all these institutional buyers. Another thing that I look at is the Bitcoin dominance chart. You just kind of see like it's on this trend line here. It's fighting like Bitcoin dominance is like how much of the market is Bitcoin. And historic, like this was the biggest alt season we've ever had. This was the March alt season. This was the just the time after the bull market in 2018, 2019, where Bitcoin was still kind of just oscillating in price, wasn't really doing too much, and you had like alts being weeded out. Some alts still staying up. Ethereum still had a pretty high market cap at this point before a lot of the ICO holders were capitulating. Here was DeFi summer, and right now it's just kind of respecting this trend line. But if it breaks, I mean, that could be more opportunity for altcoins going forward. Then also I look at total too. This is the whole entire crypto market cap except for Bitcoin. It shot up past this strong resistance area, this historical resistance area, and now it's just pulling back. So this is a high probability bounce zone because it shot up and it's rolling here. And then you have Glassnode, which is a entity company that focuses on chain metrics, and they put out this recent this article on February 26th that kind of just talks about the current state of things, and some highlights. While the third price rise since early January was predominantly retail, a fact highlighted by the 5x more signups on Binance compared to Coinbase, meaning just kind of showing like right now retail is kind of driving this push up. Binance has had a net increase in Bitcoin holders of 38% since March 2020. Just kind of showing you some different trends that you can look at. One of the things is showing that Grayscale, who's one of the huge buyers of Bitcoin, they've kind of flattened out on their accumulation right now. But because of the retail pump, retail is still buying at a rapid race. Also showing how like futures trader or traders with leverage their liquidation has kind of been to a certain extent helping with these pullbacks. You can also they're identifying here where some of the institutional buyers or publicly traded companies that are looking for hedges of their crypto, of their cash balances. So they're looking at Bitcoin, how they've been stepping in here, actually moving support up higher as they step in and buy more and more Bitcoin. I mean, it's a pretty good article, just kind of talk about different things. And one of the things, one of the other ones is, where the price, the liquid supply change, meaning like as far as what's actually available on the exchanges to buy. You can see here how we kind of topped out in Bitcoin during the last cycle, but right now it's they're at a low. There's decreasing supply of Bitcoin on exchanges to buy, which could be very bullish. There's another article that I was looking at here where just kind of talking about, well, it's the same article, but just another segment is just how the institutional buyers are thinking about it. For all those that ask themselves who would possibly buy so many Bitcoins at these price levels, it's important to understand how these large firms function under the hood and manage risk. Counterintuitively, for many of them, a 40K Bitcoin is more attractive than an unproven 8K Bitcoin, which is why we're starting to see more institutional buyers and feel more comfortable with investing in the space. Like I said, good article to read through. They also talk about the stock to flow ratio, and they're kind of comparing it to the different market cycles that crypto has gone through, or Bitcoin has gone through, and kind of see how the current market cycle is not overextended, whereas in 2013-14, based off where we are comparing to that, the market was starting to get overextended. 2016, 2017 hadn't really got there yet, and right now we're actually kind of moving. They're saying at about 1 to 2 weeks ahead of schedule when looking at the stock to flow ratio compared to stock to flow model compared to the 2016 to 17 model that had happened when Bitcoin had reached its all-time previous high at 20,000 during that last market cycle. So it's a lot of different tools you can look at here, and just to give you confidence on where we're at. And they also, based off of their this particular model here, the reserve risk, the top isn't in yet. We're not close yet to that point. So I mean, I linked the article, I linked the website Glassnode, so you guys can take a look. And they're kind of just this last thing here. It says this in terms of defining the difference between a local and global top, we need to refer back to market psychology. What we mean here concretely is that we need to understand how human greed and fear are major forces that drive the behavior. This concept is well encapsulated in the ASOPOR metric. In a bull metric, most market participants will not sell below their buying price, indicated by the one line, as they expect higher prices in the future. It is only when the fear of losses creep in that market participants start disregarding future expectations and even short-term losses as they flee for safety. Only then are we truly over the cycle, an event that is defined clearly once I'm not even gonna get this word right. ASOPR starts reaching 1.3 to 1.4. And so we kind of see that here. A phenomena has held true for all historical Bitcoin bull cycles. Like, if you read this article, they're predicting it'll kind of be a double top this market. And this was in the 2013, 2014, we had a double top. 2017, 2018 was only one top. And right here we are in 27, and it's the current market, we're not there yet. So this is definitely a good article to kind of get also another perspective on where we are in the cycle. So hopefully you got some good information from this video. If you like this video, please like the page, subscribe, share. Also, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, info@thecryptocraft.com. Thank you. Have a great day.